Hi, I'm Ben with Before Board Games, and today we're going to look at Scram, Critters versus Campers. It is a card game for, in our opinion, 2 to 6 players. The official box says it has to be at least 3, but there's a 2-player variant that works perfectly that we think improves this game even beyond 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3. So this is a game that we highly recommend. You could just buy it and try it, but there's even another secret. You can actually download the app on Android or iOS, and it has the great exact same art and experience to try it out yourself. And then we had to get the card game. So we actually found it on the app first and later got the card game. And then we tried a 2-player version and loved it. So what came before this game to make this exist in the world? Well, there's a card game called Golf you might have played growing up, which lays out 5 cards or so, and you then draw and discard until you have the lowest cards, and then you can knock on the table. Everybody gets one more turn, and then you reveal your cards. Whoever has the lowest amount of cards wins that game. Then there came Rat-a-Tat by Game Right, who had the exact same mechanisms with a couple special power cards that added some variety to the game beyond that. But then what Scram does is it has a ton more power cards that lets you either exchange with another player or look at your card and put it back down, a little bit of memory there, or some other twists that add just enough variety that we have played this probably hundreds of times, either on the app or on the cards. It is one of those kind of games. So this is my husband, Ed, and we play all these games together. So I'm excited to introduce him, but also ask him, what do you think about this game, Scram?
This game changed my life. I like it. It's super fun. It is easy to play. And at the end of the day, I want to play and feel so relaxed and chill because it is super fun.
It refreshes your brain, right? Kind of like resets everything, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we recommend highly Scram. Let's show you a little bit of how it plays now. So here's some of the setup of Scram. It all comes in a simple box with an actually really thick rule book for all the little exceptions, but you don't need this if you play the app. If you're playing with 4 or less people, you leave out 1 set of cards. So here we are set up for a 4-player game. Imagine this is 1 player, another player, and 1 on each side. So these 2 people are on a team, and these 2 people are on a team. They want to work together. So this is how you play. On your turn, you either draw from the discard or the top pile. If you draw this card here, you can secretly look at it and exchange it if it's a card you want to keep with another card you already have and discard this one. Or you can use its power, which in this case says flip 2 cards up. So let's discard that. And then I can flip any 2 cards, including my partner's cards, up so I have a better idea of what they have and I can work with them to discard cards. So now I have 2 11s over here, and that is helpful so that in the future when I draw a card, let's say I have a life 2 here, I can take that card. If I draw it face up, face down, I keep it face down, and I discard these 2 11s, and I keep that one, and I go here. Now I have 4 cards. The idea is that once you get down to just 2 cards, and let's assume they're little cards, this is maybe not a good example here, I can Scram. I can say Scram, and everybody else gets 1 more turn, just like in Golf or Rat-a-Tat-Cat. And then everybody reveals their cards, and whoever has the lowest amount of cards as a team wins that round. And if you Scram and you have the least amount of cards as a team, you get 0 points. And the other team add up all their points and keep them. You play this 4 times. If I Scram and our team's points are higher than our enemies, the opponents, then we not only have to keep all the points we have on our cards, we get penalized 10 extra points, and they do still add up their points. And so over these 4 rounds you can play, the game point can shift and move, and it's a risk to think about Rat-a-Tat-Cat or to Scram because ending that game, because you have things like this, a 13 that can come out, and you draw it off the pile and you give it to somebody, and you thought, oh no, I had a little amount of points, but all of a sudden I have an extra 13. So you have to count cards a little bit if you wanted to. There's all kinds of different ways to play. That's why we like it. There's so much variety. I will say one of the strategies that's fun is that, let's say there's a 10 card here in the discard pile. I might actually draw this high number because then you can exchange it with something. Oh no, I had a 3, that's not a good one. But in the future, I could draw and discard 2 10s. So sometimes drawing high numbers to get the commonality to discard them all at once is a good decision as well. So that is a little bit of how to play. It is really simple rules, but the variety and the way you do things is crazy. So the 2-player game is setting up for 4, and then one person just controls the setup farthest away from them and the setup in front of them, and the other person takes the other 2 sides. And then you just have a marker to go around and take some number of turns. So it actually doubles the memory. So you have to remember what each person has, but you're working as a team anyway to discard those cards. So it's really fun to have even more strategy, even more processing exercise as you go around the table, and it works perfectly. And then there's an app you can keep track of the score for each person to see how you're doing. It's Scram Score app. It's a separate app. Definitely download that. So this is one of those games that is a no-brainer. We recommend 100%. And we would hope that you would enjoy it as much. And it's one of those awesome things that you can actually try on the app first. So as you can see on the app here, that you can do solo or you can play online with other people, including somebody else physically in the room with you or across the world. Then you are going to be shuffled automatically. All the cards, always it's 3 face down and 2 face up. And then it rotates and takes turns each player. So on your turn, you can either draw from the discard or draw from the draw pile, use its ability, it says, or exchange a card. And you can select multiple cards when you know that they're the same to exchange all of them at once. It is a really fun, clean app, and it really is a great way to experience and try out the game as you're thinking, is this one for you and your community? This has been about Scram and the games that came before. Please consider subscribing and leave a comment or question. We'd love to engage with you because we really believe on this channel that yes, board games are awesome, but people are necessary to have that experience gone to the next level. So we always want to say people before board games. See you next time.